Hello, 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 everyone. How is everyone doing? Trading wrapped up for Christmas weekend. Hope everybody didn't get chopped up today. And again, Merry Christmas, everyone. You can say Merry Christmas here. You can say Happy Hanukkah. You could say is it Happy Kwanzaa. It's not Merry Kwanzaa. You can say Happy Festivus. If you live in the very north of Canada and you don't celebrate anything, you can say happy none of it or noon of it. Little Canadian humor there. Merry Christmas, George. Merry Christmas, Patrick. Yeah, I will relay all your Christmas wishes to Bob, who's actually in Chicago in the freezing cold. Merry Christmas, Jacob. Merry Christmas, CD. Again, we celebrate here. We celebrate the holidays, and we're not going around saying happy holidays. We call the holidays out. Hey, Chris. Will this rally still happen? Will we still have valid setups? We'll get to this. Hey, thank you, Anissa. Merry Christmas to all. You know, when I was at Whole Foods, not today, but earlier, you could order their catering meals, which is wonderful. I've ordered some of their stuff before, but you could literally order. It said Hanukkah, fantastic, happy Hanukkah, and then it said winter festivity meals. Like you can't say Christmas meals, you have to say winter festivity meals. What? What? Come on, jeez. What are you? You're ordering stuff like the 24th and the 25th. Oh, you're having a winter festivity. No, I'm celebrating friggin' Christmas. Merry Christmas, Donald. Merry Christmas, Chris. You know, there's nothing wrong with wishing somebody a Merry Christmas even if they don't celebrate it. There's nothing wrong with it. And if you get upset, well, you're in the wrong channel because we're going to, whether you celebrate or not, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a peaceful weekend filled with peace and joy and love. So there you go. All right. Now we got that out of the way. Let's do a quick wrap up so everybody can start this weekend. This isn't going to be a long live stream. Just want to cover stuff. Remember. It is the 23rd of December. So we have the regular close in about 20 minutes of all the products. Tomorrow, nothing, as always, with Saturday. Sunday, nothing. Monday, 5 p.m. Central Time open. The normal open for the CME for things like equities, cryptos, interest rates, foreign exchange, energy, metals. All those open at the regular time Monday night. So I will do, even though it's the technical holiday on Monday, the day is Sunday and if you're celebrating, but we will do a live stream Monday afternoon around 3 p.m. to review setups, just to review, to refresh ourselves for anything we may want to position ourselves for with the coming week. I'm just going to go through stuff really quick right now. My main reason was just to touch base with everybody and remind them that Monday is the key day, and we will be back in the saddle again. And everything is back to normal on Tuesday. Also, remember, we have a shortened trading week. It's key through Friday. It is key through Friday, but then it's shortened again with New Year's. So do not get caught off guard. Just here's the calendar. So you see, regular close, 4 p.m. Central Time for all the majors. You know, we don't cover a lot of grain here, but they close at their regular time too. So next Friday right before New Year's weekend is everything normal. So we will have next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be completely normal. And then Sunday, everything closed again. And Monday will be the preview show for the next week. But that's where we stand. Let's see who else is up here. Merry Christmas, Genomic Stock. Oh, thank you very much for that wonderful, very generous super chat. Again, please send wonderful wishes to Genomic Stock for being a member of this channel. Thank God, only 4 days next week to get chopped up in the stock market. You know, you don't have to trade right now. You can wait till January 3rd. Hey, Connor, Vertical Dimension, Amit. I just love the teeth shot. Thank you to all you do for this year. Many great trades and limited and closed the trades. They could have been painful investments. Okay. Oh, thank you very much for the super chat, CD. Again, CD and Genomic Stock with the super chat today. I'm in a short Euro US dollar. Do I hold over the weekend? I don't like to leave you know, I don't think you're at high risk, but it's a longer weekend, you know, and given the nature of 2022, that's up to you. I think if you close it out, you'll be able to re-enter pretty close to where you closed it out. Me personally, because of the way this year's been, limit risk exceptionally at key times. I'm talking for shorter term positions. From long-term positions and things that go for weeks and or months, no, you're not going to change anything. But if it's a little short position we can peek in the euro, I would just close it out and re-enter it Monday when everything reopens, personally. Thanks for shouting them out, Sterling. Again, thank you. So, hey, greetings to you, Options 22. All right. Just a recap. We went over the PCE stuff at the open. We only had really Michigan. I know we had some new home sales, which fine, but Michigan consumer sentiment beat. And the big thing that the market sort of rallied, snapped back. It was selling off until this number came out, but the where is it? The inflation expectations dropping from 4.6 forecast to 4.4, and previous was 4.9. Again, a lot of these surveys, people are just reacting because food prices aren't dropping. They're reacting to the substantial drop in gasoline. And that's what most people engage inflation off of, whether it sticks around or not. So that's why I'm not surprised to see that come in. And 5-year inflation expectations down from 3 to 2.9. With that, actually interesting, the total rig count is climbed again. So interesting enough there. Now remember, nothing on Monday. Tuesday, just a little preview. We got some retail inventories, wholesale inventories, and the home prices, and Fed manufacturing from Dallas Index. So it's minor stuff Tuesday morning. Everything based off if we gap open up or down will be based off of stuff coming out. Anything that happens to come out this weekend in the headlines. That's really notable. We'll go over the rest of the week on Monday. Market map. Tesla still can't catch a sustained bid, even with the market decent bounce in Amazon and Google. Oil and energy stocks are the big rallying today. You can see that in the group. Energy continued its rally up. The only thing that was down slightly with healthcare and technology, but very neutral. And to finish off this week, energy is the rocket ship. Still 67% for that 25 basis point. Nothing really shifting there. Still in fear mode, but climbing. So Sterling closed out his Russell long and took the profits at the close. Okay. Which I don't, for anything, again, would not carry risk. I just look to reopen. Even if you give up a little bit, or hey, if you miss a trade because you closed out and you couldn't get back in it, I'd rather take a missed trade at this time of year than expose myself to needless risk and worry, especially if something were to happen over the weekend, you know, and then you're worried, is it going to gap against me? It's not worth it. Because, like, again, long-term positions, you're not going to worry about gaps. because you deal with those anyways. But short-term positions, why ruin a holiday weekend? All right. The only thing I'm really focused on is in the next 15 minutes, is the S&P going to close above 38.70.50, trading 38.69? Why? Because that technically shifts the probabilities. That's the only thing I'm focused on. And no, it will not be entered tonight. It would be looked at on Monday, the opening on Monday night. Remember, also, if there's gaps, you can always look for the gap fill to get in stuff. The double, even with this price action still today, is intact. So we still have our potential setups for next week. Potential. Nothing's changed. And again, I would advise this, if this wasn't a daily close, my rule for newer traders, first off, it's a setup on the daily. It's technically still, even with this setup, with this, it's a technical on the 4 hour. So we could do a 4 hour close, and from an aggressive standpoint, if you wanted, you could do a 1 hour close. But if it doesn't close on that 4 hour above there, then it would be bailing back out, because this is substantial resistance. But we are still looking at that. We get that close above 39.1975, 39.78, 4,007, 4,036, also potentially reconnecting us with the 200. We'll review downside on Monday. The NASDAQ. Come on, NASDAQ. NASDAQ, there's nothing, and there's no way it's closing above the 62.5. So the NASDAQ's the last thing I'm turning to for bullish. That's pretty much the weakest setup here. There is no, well, I shouldn't say that. There's a little 4 hour setup. You have no daily setup at higher. You do have this. I stand corrected. This is the key thing we're watching for Monday night / Tuesday morning, and this would need, I would need a 4 hour close above 11,143, 11,255, 11,313, 11,369, and look at that final target coming right in at the candle body tops. The body tops is what you want to focus on, not the wicks. Into the rotation zone, and that could complete without taking out these highs from Wednesday and Thursday. And that would just take us back to the rotation zone, not even getting us back to the major breakdown area. So that's a shorter term bullish setup versus the Dow, which could get back to the 200. I mean the S&P, which could get back to 200. The Dow closed above 33,633. The Dow did close above the 62.5, so technical front run, more aggressive pattern. Why? Because it can target this higher area, and then if it does trigger the double, it goes higher. I would really be focusing on with the Dow, the first and second targets only. It is valid on this 4 hour time frame, although a bit sloppy, and you can see the final target goes into the candle bodies right there. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. But the Dow was technically, if you use some harmonic entries, a front run entry from a very aggressive standpoint. The Russell is still also valid. The Russell no close above the 62.5 and is not going to in the next 12 minutes. So no front run at the Russell. Also, I should point out with these, they are still technically lower probability patterns. Since they are against the daily rotation zone, it would need to raise the probabilities. It actually needs a triggering close above the rotation zone. The closest one to that is the S&P, which might get the rotation zone out of the way. Hey, Rams fall. Still 100% cash. There you go. We'll get to Tesla in a minute, Amit. Given Oxy First Solar at all-time multi-year highs for the final week, is it logical to assume window dressing from funds that don't own them? Any other stocks near their... I don't have a lot of stock I'll see if there's anything that pops out when I review stuff this weekend, but off the top of my head, I don't have anything I'm just trying to do window dressing on. We've already discussed the things I like from. I mainly focus on dividends. Oxy, I mean, you're sitting here. I don't know. I mean, Oxy, I wouldn't be rushing into right now. So, from a shorter term perspective, it's sitting against this 200. And even if it rallies above about that, it's still in consolidation. There's nothing I do really with that yet. Let me peek at crude real quick, by the way. Let me see here. Crude still, we have the double top technically in place. I'd be real careful with this. Crude also coming up to that 50 area. I'd be real careful with, unless if we do trigger a reversal pattern, we could get some profit taking in the early next week in energy with the run up. First Solar. Where did this go with that double? So the double complete and then stalling out. I actually lean on, you might get some year-end, I don't know, you could get some actual year-end profit taking off of these. I wouldn't be rushing into these. First Solar, I'd just be trailing a stop. I guess aggressively, if you wanted to trade a breakout, if you weren't in it already above 162.05, there could be a little run back at the highs there. But other than that, you know, you could set an alert there, but I'd be more worried about a breakdown play possibly going in the year end on this. I am still not seeing a lot of stuff I want to rush into just yet. Now, there could be some better movements once if we do get some of those doubles to trigger. But, you know, like here, I mean, technically we have a double bottom in Apple. So do I want to rush in it yet? No. Could, if we, you know, there could be a front run pattern to this based off the harmonics. If you want to try to front run it, which would be a close above 134.12, because this might never trigger. But that's the only, you know, through the end of the year / January effect if we get it. Again, lower probability since it's against the daily rotation zone. But there's not, I wouldn't just go buying this saying we're going to get in, you know, and I know that's different than the stocks you cited, but there's a lot that I have to be a little patient for. I have to let them play out. Like even Microsoft coming down below this key support area with no key pattern. I mean, any rally could be setting up for another rollover play. Google, So I'm going to do some more scans at some point this weekend and see. But look, even Amazon on a rally just coming back to overhead resistance with cycles running back up. There's not a lot. Let me peek in at the notes and dollar. Notes, I'm still watching for a continued closing now below the 50 today, right at the prior breakout level, and filling the gap from Wednesday the 30th to Thursday the 1st finally. I'm still focused on a return to this 50% level. Dollar index, still doubles not invalid, but very, very sleepy day in the dollar index with an inside bar. With that, I know we had the euro long. At this point, yeah, I mean, if you're not in it already, it needs a break above 106.60, as I said before, and a breakdown below 105.80 is me watching for a short position. But other than that, nothing. The pound inside day, just a very quiet foreign exchange trading day. Still watching for the Dow to reconnect with the 50. I mean, look, Bitcoin went to sleep. There you go. Nothing there. Tesla, I know we had a question on that, which just keeps drifting down. Just keeps drifting down. No key pausing bar yet. What are my thoughts? If this market gets a rally on, we're gonna see the bounce. But Tesla hasn't been able to get much going at all. We are horribly oversold. Horribly oversold. But I doubt even if you get the bounce. I mean, I'll be watching back to possibly 140.50 on the initial thrust pattern. So, and then the next substantial rollover play. Just looking here. Yeah, that 140.50, look at that with the daily rotation zone right there. By the way, on a break above today's high, if it does close, it would be a %B buy for a return to the rotation zone. So there is a playable potential long entry on a break above the high as long as it closes above the high. So if we get like Tuesday morning momentum to the upside, that kind of thing's playable. But it has to then close for me to be interested in carrying it overnight. Let's see. Hey, Daniel, Mary, ho ho, yes. See you after your birthday on the 2nd. Will you have a happy birthday and enjoy your time away from the screen, Daniel? Let's see. Where do we... Well, I do FCG, please. FCG. You do have natural gas, which, by the way, let me loop back around. Because natural gas did have the little sell-off. We reconnected. Remember, we got the close back below the 62.5, reconnect with the 87.5. Not very tradable down here. I'm watching for some kind of bottoming pattern now. The terminal in, I'll get back to the stock question, but the terminal in the Houston area is delayed with its reopening again. I think that's what it was. We sold off and then bounced back. So it might be trying to put in, there was a fair amount of buying pressure in here. There is a %B buy setup potentially on the break and then close above today's high. So that's what I'll be watching for. And cycles are at the bottom and is coming out of very oversold conditions. Why do I bring that up? Because FCG, which is the First Trust Natural Gas ETF, which you can see has held this base really well. Now, it's technically a triple bottom. However, on a weekly basis, now that would require a weekly close above here. But what's interesting is if you get the daily close back above about 25.20, because that would close it back above the rotation zone and above the 200, there could be a nice little breakout play. Now this is aggressive. This is aggressive, and I'd be targeting this area between about 26.18 to about 26.50 only. Just want to double check where this, yeah. I want to make sure that completed on this one. It completed all the double, which it did. So that's the only thing I'd really be watching for with this, especially if this triggers and you get the futures to trigger a %B buy. It is also aggressive because there's a 50 smack dab in the way. So that's definitely an even more aggressive stop raise. Because if this breaks out then jumps back in, you don't want to be holding it. But that's the short-term play in FCG. Remember, once we roll over again, and we probably will roll over again, I'm not saying soon, but at some point, when you roll over again, you still have a gap down here, and we will probably retest the September lows on the next rollover play. From this morning, HP blew the weekly rotation zone and has not hit the first target yet. I thought it was HPK, you said. Or is it HPKL? No, it's HPK, right? You just have an extra L in there. Has a triggered weekly double top. Oh, this one. And still is not high peak energy. That's what. I missed that. Just holding it. I mean, this at this point considered a stop reduction hit. It's not that I'd consider the first target nearly with the 1, 2, 3 tests of that area. I'd be lowering your stop on that if you were trading this to the short side. I definitely use this as a stop lowering. Hey Connor, thank you for the super chat. Will you do a video for a member of what your thought process is on picking options contract and what strategies you use? Sure, I can do it. I'll just briefly tell everybody I like to focus on unless I have a specific target. If I have a specific target in mind, I love to do condors and butterflies around that specific target. If I don't have a specific target, I personally like to structure bull and bear credit or debit spreads, depending on volatility, utilizing at the money options as my key entry strike. So that's in a brief little quick thing. I love to use at the money options because of where it sits with delta and gamma. And then I like to do spreads because I like to spread off some of the vega. Personally. And then if I have a major target, okay, I like to do something around that major target price. And condors are more forgiving than butterflies. But you're giving up a bit. Those are my favorite option strategies. Elon today talked about sacrificing margin for clearing inventory. And they got the end of the year delivery figures coming up, end of quarter delivery figures. I think it will get a pop at some point in Tesla, and then it will get the rollover play. It's almost like he wants, in some ways, to beat the stock down lower. I don't know what's going on. Tesla P 38 now. It'll keep coming down. Remember, the average automaker, and they are just an automaker, is around 5 or 6. I mean, Tesla, if we were talking around 20, would be a different story. Especially with the U.S. going into recession and a lot of the global markets going into recession. And China numbers look absolutely horrible for Tesla. People laughed when I said Tesla at 420 pre-split. Now it might make 60 a share by March. It very well could. Good evening, Lucas. All right. Again, thank you, Connor. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to shout out the super chatters again. CD, thank you for the super chat. Genomic Stock, thank you for the super chat. I'll see if anything comes up for year-end plays. Keep an eye now. For those that didn't get, this is why it's fantastic to trade these around a core position. Coming back down. Remember, we got the close below the 62.5 on the weekly. Coming back down, smacking straight in that 87.5. So, we'll be watching for a potential another little quick rally play in here. But from the bigger perspective now, even if it trades down lower, what do we have? What do we have here? Nice potential double setup on Intel. Doesn't mean it has to trigger. But that's something to keep an eye on. That's something to keep an eye on, especially with chips getting beat up like after Micron this week. P to E back to $8. Dividend yield over 5.5%. You know, could be interesting. Cycles getting to the bottom on the weekly. If you're looking for dividend plays, do not discount, or you never got an Intel, I'd be watching for possibly an entry. Again, can't give specific trading or investing advice, but something to keep an eye. Yes, Amazon PE is still ridiculously high, especially with their web services stuff starting to contract. That's why I think we'll get more substantial Amazon rollover. With recession next year, business will slow down with any expansion into, and their only money-making thing is their web services and cloud stuff. So you have businesses slow down in that, and then consumers are getting hit. Amazon's poised for another turn lower in my book. All right, not going to keep everybody around. Again, Merry Christmas to everybody who does celebrate. Even if you don't, Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful, peaceful weekend. If you can, enjoy some time with friends and family, pets, loved ones. Hopefully it'll warm up if it's cold where you are a bit. And I shall talk to everybody on Monday. Why high trading volume on Tesla ranging between 120 and 180 million shares traded the last couple days? I couldn't tell you. Tesla's price action has been very strange. There's been lots of selling pressure. I'm going to have to look more into it. There's been a lot of odd things. Yes, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. See everyone back on Monday. Why is that? I don't know why we're getting it. Something's off. It's real. I don't know. I can't comment just yet. Don't have a proper comment on it. It's like it's been beaten down even more so. It can't get a rally on, and I'm not saying it's not poised to drop lower in the future. I'm saying this price action has been strange for Tesla. Merry Christmas, Connor. Happy holidays, Luke, Charles. Thank you, Anissa. Bye for now, everyone.